Hello everyone and welcome to a hero reveal video for the game For Honor. Today we are going to be looking at the new Pirates hero, which is part of the new Outlanders faction, which takes us up to a total of 5 factions in the game. We're going to be showing off the moveset, and also I'm showing off the customization of the character right here, showing you what you can do once you rep up to those high rep levels. I'm going to show you briefly here. This is the Rep 0 version that you get as the base version. The hero uses a cutlass, and it's the first time we have an actual pistol in the game, which is very interesting. The character can use that in a lot of different ways. I'll show you that in a second. So sit back, relax, hope you enjoy it. Let's get into the moveset. Okay, welcome to the training arena. Here is our pirate here, and for the demonstration we have another pirate over there, just in front of Daubney. And basically, now we're going to go through all of the different moves. We're going to go through all of the moves in her moveset, and then I'm going to give a bit of advice through my own testing, and I'll show you things like the max punish when out of stamina, and also some tips on how to engage if your enemy is very good at blocking and they're a bit more of a veteran player with a lot of experience. So, let's lock on to our other pirates here. Let's get them to follow me. Come over here. There we are. Okay, so, first things first. She has 4 different chains of 2 attacks each. So that means she can do light from any direction. She can do light heavy. She can do heavy light. And finally, she can do heavy. And that second heavy in the chain has uninterruptible stance, so if they hit you through it, then you will get hyper armor and you will carry on with your attack for the 22 damage. Other thing in the movesets, so next thing there is the Sea Wolf's Ferocity, the Cavalier Dance, and the Grand Cavalier. Now, Sea Wolf's Ferocity is basically just the zone attack, which comes out from your right, just like that. Costs 50 stamina, does 15 damage. I'd say it's one of her weaker attacks. It's quite telegraphed, it's quite easy to parry. It costs a lot of stamina, and it only does 3 more damage than a light. A light doing 12 and costing 9 stamina, which is 41 stamina points less than a zone. The only thing about the zone, I guess it has a broad range of attacks, so it's a bit better in ganks if you're clearing minions. In duels, I wouldn't really use it too much. One thing to note is that it can be chained, so if you do a zone, classes as a heavy, you can follow up with a light or another heavy. Like that. So very simple there. So the Cavalier Dance and the Grand Cavalier, they are basically just her dodge heavy attacks. So the forward one is unblockable, which is this one. And the side one looks like this. That's left, obviously, and then right as well. The top one does 14, whereas the side does 10. So top one is a lot stronger. It's the first time, I believe, in a character that Ubisoft have added a feature where they can engage with a top forward unblockable. So there's an instant unblockable there, so that automatically, in my view, increases her ability to counteract very defensive players very easily. So that's very nice to have that. The next thing on the list here is we have the Pistol Blast, the Walk the Plank, and then finally the Sea Wolf's Glide. So Pistol Blast is, again, fairly simple. After any heavy attack, you can press square or X if you're on Xbox, or whatever your guard break button is on PC, and you get a guaranteed 5 damage. To get the guaranteed 5 damage, however, the heavy has to hit. So, doing it from the top there where she's not guarding, that's guaranteed. So do the animation behind your back like that. But, if they block it, it's not guaranteed. They can actually dodge it. So, slightly different animation there, where you'll grab them under the chin, and you'll pistol blast them in the stomach. That can be dodged. However, it does do 14 damage. So, that's 9 damage more than the 5 you get guaranteed with a heavy that hits. So essentially, with that, all your heavies that hit can do 25 damage. That means, and those that don't hit will do 18, with the heavy block damage doing 4, and then 14 for the right attack, which is the pistol blast. The next thing is the walk the plank. This is the attack that you want to absolutely prioritize at all times, because this is her most damaging attack. It does 30 damage, and you can do that after any light or heavy in a chain. So let's show you this now. You have to make sure that you're walking back when you do the R2, otherwise it won't work. So I'm walking back like that. That's basically what that means. So light, walk back with R2, and there you go. And you notice there that I kicked her. Now if they've got their back to the wall, then you will be able to get a guaranteed heavy when they're stunned when hitting the wall. So you can do light, walk the plank, automatically kick them, get a heavy, and then that heavy can then be followed up with a guaranteed pistol blast. It is worth noting that that guaranteed pistol blast is the only one which does 2 damage. That is the least you'll get. And I guess that's because the 50 damage that you get from the walk the plank and the guaranteed heavy, I guess Ubisoft thought that we'll just keep the pistol blast very, very minimal, because you're automatically getting quite a lot of damage guaranteed anyway. So that's worth noting. In terms of stamina cost, it's still 15 stamina to do the pistol blast, so you might want to choose to do a light instead, which is not guaranteed, but it will mean that you get a chance at getting 14 damage. So that is to be noted. The final thing is the Seawolf's Glide, which is essentially the not in guard mode R2 running attack. So let's set our pirates here to hold the position. So we're running around, and then we just press R2, and boom, they are hit by an R2. This R2, just like the zone, is classed as a heavy, so you can use that to chain. So you can go into another heavy, or you can run around, do a heavy, and do a heavy from the top, or you can do a light as well. So and light. And that is everything in her moveset. So on the surface it looks fairly simple. She is a medium skill level character. I believe she's classed as a counter attacker, a hybrid, and a mix-up intensive character. Now I guess the mix-up intensive character part comes from what I'm about to show you now, which is to do with her dodge cancelling and her chain abilities, essentially. So you notice there she's got a combo of 2 with the lights and the heavies, but because you can recovery cancel out of everything, it means that you can essentially keep going with your onslaught of attacks. So I can do, you know, dodge forward heavy, keep doing that if I really want. If my teammates controller has stopped working or something, you just kind of smack them, the continued heavies. But probably more realistically, you can do things like light heavy, and then go straight into the unblockable. Sorry. You can also do things like light straight into the side dash. So it might be that you're getting ganked, you want to get a quick light and then dodge someone from behind you and do a dodge heavy. So you can light, obviously chain that, and then after the pistol blast you can dodge out the pistol blast as well. So that counts as a chain as well. So you can keep smacking them around the pistol blast. Use the walk the plank as well. The walk the plank as well can be cancelled with a pistol blast. So if you're not near a wall, you can press square after you've stabbed them and you'll get a pistol blast instead of kicking them. You can also just dodge out of it as well. So if I do light, walk the plank, press square, and that'll smack them with a 5 damage. If they're not near a wall, that's the best thing to do. You can also do, as I just said, you can dodge out of it as well, similar to how old Orochi's his R2 deflect could be dodged out of, and you can get other deflects and things like that. So do that, straight into that. So again, you might be in a gank situation, you might be doing that, someone comes up behind you, you can get around their attacks and keep focusing on the person that you're trying to kill. I think, what else is there? Feats can be used instead of the pistol blast, but we'll get onto that in a sec when I'm not in training mode, when I've got multiple people there. Chain light attacks are undodgeable, and as I said before, chain heavy attacks have an uninterruptible stance. So if you notice here, on the second light, you'll notice a blue flash next to your attack. That indicates that if they dodge, it's still going to hit. But obviously if they dodge and their guard is still in the point that you're attacking from, then they're going to block it, obviously. And similarly, if you do light then heavy, you see my character glows a very faint blue. That means that you have an interruptible stance, and if they hit you, you're still going to get that 22 damage. Walk the plank can also just be feinted, as you saw there. So you can feint it like that, and that's to catch people who might want to light you out of it, or if they want to dodge. You can also soft feint it into a guard break. Now her soft feints are they're the quick version of the soft feint guard break. So if you do light, walk the plank, press square or guard break button, you'll instantly go into a very quick guard break. So that's to stop people from continually trying to dodge that. The soft feint can also work for the forward dash heavy unblockable, which is very powerful as well. So soft feint straight into that. So very, very strong initiator because of that mix-up. And that's sort of where you can start to see how she's a mix-up intensive character. So you can combine all those moves, and then you can do stuff like this, essentially. So if I just have a bit of fun here. You can do combos like that, for example, but they won't have that much health. She probably would have died about halfway through that. But anyway, that's the kind of idea. That's kind of how you want to play. So moving on to max punishes, as I said earlier, the current max punish that I have found so far is 52, and that's doing an attack into Cavalier Dance, letting them automatically kick it, getting a guaranteed heavy off the wall splat, and then a follow-up pistol, which is 30, 20, and 2 for 52. Now for out of stamina punishes, let's put our enemy pirate on nose down. So this is not tested on a player, this is only on a bot, but from what I can tell, it doesn't matter which direction you throw them, but you get a heavy and a cavalier's, walk the plank off. So I'm going to throw them here, get a heavy, and I walk the plank, which gives you 50 damage off of a throw. You've got to make sure that you don't change your guard when you throw them. So if you see my guard here is at top, if I throw them, change it to the left, for example, then they can actually get up. So that means that they can either dodge or parry that. So that's one thing to note. Now, if they try and parry you, I believe you get less so far that I've seen. So if they go for a parry, let's have a look. You don't get the heavy into walk the plank. You instead get light into heavy. Which is that. And that, well, technically it's actually walk the plank, I think you get. So there you go. You get 42 off of a attempted parry punish. So it might be that you bait them with that. Do a light. Walk the plank. In terms of where you throw the light from, don't think it matters in that case. they still won't be able to get up in order to block or parry or dodge the walk the plank. So there you go. 42 from a parry out stamina, and for a throw it's 50. You don't even have to remember where your guard is if you are worried about, oh, where have I thrown my guard? I want to make sure that it's in the same place. What I do is I just throw them, take my hand off of the guard, don't even need to touch it for any of that, because you're going to throw them, throw a heavy, and just walk back and press R2. You don't need to change your guard at all. One other thing to note with Walk the Plank is that you can actually chain it into itself again. So if you do like Walk the Plank, Pistol Blast, Walk the Plank, Pistol Blast, Walk the Plank, Pistol Blast, Walk the Plank. So if they can't parry for any reason, or they're like a commander or something, you want to do as much DPS as you can, as much damage as you can in a short space of time, then you can do that as well for the continued chain. Just like that. Now for one of my favourite bits. She has 4 different executions. The first one is this one. Throw your sword into their chests, shoot them, and then you squish that sword out of them somehow. So the next one is this one. So you fail at shooting them, smack them with your pistol, and then stab them in the back. Next execution is this one here. Bit more of a kind of trolling execution. Boom. Parry that. And the 4th and final unique execution that she has, which is my absolute favourite by far, is this one here. I mean, who doesn't want a flaming sword? Absolutely epic. When I saw that for the first time, my mind was blown. Did not expect a flaming sword in For Honor, but there you have it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set our bots here, a level 3 bot, to on, and we're going to see how some fights might look like in this new season of For Honor with a new pirate hero. So let's have a look here. So let's put AI bot level 3, and let's begin. So we'll initiate here. Then on push ball. Get the cavalier stance in there. Feint that. Let's go for the uninterruptible heavy. Soft feint that. Go straight into that. With the continued chain dodge recovery. And that move that I just did there, so that's currently my favourite way to initiate. You basically use whiff tech to start getting in range with them with your most damaging attack. So deliberately whiff that. And then you've got, that's 35 damage if that hits. And even if you miss, you can actually dodge cancel out of that. So that's quite a strong one, in my view. And if I do this other bit of whiff tech, if you do a mist heavy, you can actually get in range of a follow-up pistol attack. So obviously I was way out of range then, but this does have pretty decent range, to be honest. It's actually kind of scary how much range it has. So she's there. That's a bit too far. The range is sort of like the diameter of this middle circle here, I'd say. So if I do that, it's still going to hit. Okay, so let's get her over here. So that's just that. So there, that's about the maximum distance. Because I'm not near a wall there, that's why I'm just cancelling it into the pistols attack. That's here doing the side heavy attack. Should just use the weakest attack there in my opinion, which is the zone. She's going to parry there, fail completely with what is not the max punish. And we're going to finish her with a light there. So let's try and get her near a wall now and try and do the mix up. So automatic kick there. That's 50 damage there, guaranteed if that hits. One thing to note, obviously good players will know that you're going to try and aim for that, so if their back is to a wall you might want to switch it up and do the guard break version of that. This is showing the first execution. So if their back is to the wall there, you probably just want to go for the guard break there, and you get 25 damage. So there, my side heavy missed. She did a dodge heavy cancel, and I did a dodge heavy there after my miss. So that meant that I could counter her. You can also do that after lights as well. But so far, doing the Cavalier stance looks like the best way to engage, in my view. Sorry, the walk the plank. Walk the plank, that's the one there, after any attack. Okay, so the first feat is the armor piercing slug, which reduces an enemy's defense. It can be used where you'd normally use the follow-up from a heavy, where you use the follow-up pistol strike. You can use the actual feat instead, which is quite handy. So you can actually use feats in your chains, which is the first time it's actually been properly introduced to a character in For Honor. The next one is the bomb. Just that one there. And that is basically just a launcher bomb that deals damage. Pretty self-explanatory. I think it says 25 damage. Next one is the ricochet, which actually bounces off of multiple enemies. And then we have like this blunderbuss one here, which knocks enemies down. I'll tell you the actual name in a sec once I finish these off. The actual name is the Gunpowder Surprise. So yeah, launches a bomb, it deals damage, knocks enemies back and down. Similar to Jormungandr's attack, but this is like the ranged version of that. So I hope this video has helped you a lot. Feel free to like and comment, let me know if it did. And also if you want to see more of me, then feel free to subscribe as well. Over the next week or so, I'll be posting a lot more videos hopefully about this character, taking it into live matches against real players and seeing how things pan out. So I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next vid.